today we are playing Trails, which is a game about hiking. It's a resource conversion, set collecting game as you're going back and forward through this landscape, taking photos, collecting badges. The main thing is it's a bit of a game, a little bit about hiking, and I wanted to play that game because I'm with Ruby, my friend, to talk about hiking the Camino. We'll put you at the start, Trailhead, as you can kick us off, but can you tell me what the Camino is?
So the Camino is Spanish for the way. The Camino de Santiago is the way of St. James. It's a pilgrimage across Spain. Most people start just across the border in France, across the Pyrenees, and then all the way to Santiago. But the trail can start anywhere in Europe and trickle down.
Yeah, lots of different routes and different ways to walk it. In this game, you are walking up to 2, unless you want to use your canteen, as you start collecting resources before the sun sets. Kick us off.
All right, so I'll go first.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to move 1 tile. I'm going to use any resource to convert into 2 other resources. So I'm going to convert this 1 acorn into 2 stones. No, I only heard about it a couple of months before I decided to go. And, oh, that sounds like an adventure, and boy, was it.
Yep. So you went all the way to the coast, so you're looking at about 850 kilometres. How long did it take you to do that walk?
I took 43 days to do it.
Okay,
and I got sick twice along the way, and I definitely wasn't in any hurry, so some days I only walked sort of 10 Ks or something just along to the next town.
And how much was your maximum when you...
33 was my biggest day, and I was zonked by the end of that one.
28 was mine, and that was with 5 breaks, and the last break I made the mistake of having a beer, and that made the last 2 or 3 Ks very hard. But I think what's, because as we're talking here, this is talking about hiking. You don't have to camp at all because you're walking between small little Spanish towns, staying in effectively dormitories. There are almost like motel rooms as well, so you can be a bit more private if you want to, or even fancy in some towns. But it is sort of a bit more of a communal experience rather than hiking in the woods. And very well signposted. I have no orienteering skills at all. I don't think I ever really got lost except for a couple of times where I didn't quite see the yellow arrows. But yeah, so you don't need, it's a bit different to some of the big, it's not like some of the hikes across America where you're on your own for 6 months.
I don't think there was a single day where I was on my own. So many other people on the way.
Well, see, my friend was started later than I did, but I often would sleep into like 8, which is a sleep in there. So sometimes if you're starting later in the day, you wouldn't have as many people to walk with. But yes, it is a very communal, a lot of people on the road. You're not going to get lost. You're not going to get stranded, and yeah, it's not a survival
hike. That's a very good point. So there were quite a few days where I was very late in the afternoon and definitely a bit more solitary there, but I wouldn't say a survival adventure.
It's not that. The average age of walkers is probably about 60.
Yeah, maybe 65.
Yeah. A lot of retirees, we've been friends for a while now, and there was a period where you used to work, I would say, like a dog for 6 months and then travel for 6 months. So you've travelled fairly extensively. How do you compare doing the Camino versus other sort of travelling?
I usually like to travel by myself, and so part of that is always sort of finding friends along wherever you're going. But there's just such a big sense of community. Like, I don't think I've ever experienced anything like that in terms of the amount of friends you find along the way. Sort of walk for 1 day with somebody and spill your absolute brains out to them, just every thought that you've had because, well, I've been doing nothing but walking for a month and I've got nothing else going on. So you just unravel to them, and then you walk past them, and the next day you see them again and you go, oh yeah, or you don't see them again, and then like a month later, you're like, oh, I met a lot of friends in Portugal. A lot of people went from Spain to Portugal, and then it's like, oh, hey, how'd you go? What happened with that? And I guess also the pilgrim gossip, like the amount of gossip of everyone, just like in everyone else's business. Like really, the storytelling of each other's people. Like I think that's a very beautiful part of it.
So it's this bonus here.
Lovely. What do I want? What do I need? I guess the other thing about the Camino is just that it's such a privilege to have that much time to just walk. Like a lot of the Americans, as you would know, they do it 2 weeks at a time because that's like all the holiday they have. They go and they do 2 weeks and then...
I found with a lot of Americans, like especially retirees, the idea that anyone would be able to take a month off work was beyond them.
Exactly.
So having the time to sort of, lazily, taking 35, 40 days to do the Camino, and then going to the coast as well. Yeah, it's a sort of, it is a nice way to spend holidays, especially considering it becomes you almost sort of strip away what you're doing because all you're doing is focusing on, okay, I'm walking from this town to this town. I'm going to start, at 7 or 8 a.m. I'm going to walk. I'll walk for 5 Ks to get to this next town. I'll have some breakfast there or also, some brunch there. And then I'll walk another 3 or 4 Ks and have some lunch and have a break. And then I'll walk another 6 Ks and I'll get to the afternoon spot, have a drink. And then I'll get to my final destination. And then I'll need to do my washing. And then I'm going to have a relax. And you go like, then tomorrow I'm going to walk again.
Yeah.
And it just sort of strips away what you're doing. It's a unique experience, I think.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's such a unique, special, privilege. It's such a privilege to be able to do something like that and to really immerse yourself in that experience. Because, I didn't have return flights booked, so just whatever pace. This looks interesting. I'll stop a while and... Just that, but still routine and structure.
Yeah,
I'm still going somewhere. I'm still doing something. And we know that walking's really good for your body and your mind and soul, I guess.
Again, I walked with one of my friends, Cassie, who are we sort of, for the first week and a half we were together. Then we sort of split up for a little bit. It was sort of a day or two apart, which also, for me, was really good because she's very social. I can be social, but I've not as much naturally outgoing. So for me, it sort of forced me to interact with people because I didn't have, I'm not walking with this person. So that was really good. And then had sort of unique groups that we met up with. And then I would catch up with people, say, oh yeah, walk with my friend Cassie. And they're like, oh, is that the one who starts late? I'm like, yes. So I met people like friends of mine, I became friends who were like, I know Cassie.
Yeah.
So you sort of meet up with people. And then it also became, towards the end, we caught up again and finished it off together. And so there's a unique sort of journey we went on. And it's something I really recommend people to do. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people who'd be like, no fucking way do I want to walk for a month. And I get that, but it's certainly a unique experience. I'm not religious at all, but yeah, really, really enjoyed it.
I think, what you're sort of saying about doing it with somebody else and the effect it would have on your relationship to know that we know how to be together in challenging times, we know how to be separate in challenging times. Like, I think that's really special and really strengthens a relationship in a huge way.
Well, we're still friends. However, she didn't come tonight. That was more of a scheduling thing rather than a testament to our friendship. But no, it is a really and I really do like hiking. I like the Camino a lot. And I think we're probably got to a stage where this game we're sort of still got a while to go. But I think you're quite a bit ahead with your resource collection and your badges and your photos. But yeah, that was Trails, and that was the Camino. Ruby, thank you very much.
Thank you.